Our Lisa Desjardins was in the hearing room today, and Yamiche Alcindor has been tracking reaction from the White House. Hello to both of you. So, Lisa, you were there. We were just hearing Michael Cohen, in essence, warn the Republicans on the committee not to do what he was doing, protect the president, follow the president. What was the dynamic there?
Well, it was another intense and historic feeling hearing. The line to get in stretched for 2 city blocks inside this large office building on Capitol Hill. I think both sides came into it very aware of the stakes here, that this is the first time we've seen someone come testify about what may be impeachable offenses if they're proven. And both parties clearly came, as we saw in those clips, with their messages and their scripts. But I think what happened, Judy, is actually the tone was set by 2 people in that room. One, the chairman, Elijah Cummings, the Democrat of Maryland, who ran a very tight ship and shut down both sides when they went too long and also when they seemed to get out of hand. The other, Michael Cohen himself. I think Republicans came in fact, I talked to Republicans who came in thinking here was a great chance for them to swing a big hit for the president. They thought this was a man whose credibility would be easy to take down. Instead, they found someone who was able to joust with them in a calm and poised manner, and at times defended the president, even as he was making incredible accusations against him. So Republicans came out during the break, Judy, and actually did not want to talk to reporters as much as Democrats did, which was a sign of the hearing and kind of what they were feeling inside. One other thing, Judy, was there anything new here today? There were a few new things. One that stuck out to me was Michael Cohen saying in public that there are other investigations pending in the Southern District of New York that do involve the president in some way.
And it's interesting what you're saying about Republicans, because publicly they are still questioning Michael Cohen's credibility. And that brings me to you, Yamiche, because it is in the eye of the beholder. One side saying he's very believable, the other side saying he's not. What were they saying at the White House today?
Well, Michael Cohen really set out to dismantle this idea of President Trump as a businessman who ran for president because he wanted to see America thrive. Instead, Michael Cohen said he was a con artist and someone who ran because he wanted to enrich himself off of the presidency, and off of the candidacy of being president. And the White House here is pushing back very strongly on that. Now, there is this, of course, incredible split screen that I have to talk about, which is the president is in Vietnam meeting with Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, but he's still very much focused on Washington and focused on this explosive day here on the Hill. The president was out saying that Michael Cohen is a liar, and that's what the White House was saying. I also have been text messaging with Rudy Giuliani, who was, of course, the president's personal lawyer, as well as representatives for Jay Sekulow, who was another lawyer for the president. Both of them are very adamant that Michael Cohen is not someone that should be trusted. So it's hard to see whether or not Michael Cohen will be as effective here politically, because, of course, Republicans and the people who are supporting president are sticking with him. I also want to talk about this incredible moment that happened in the hearing. Representative and Republican Mark Meadows, he brought out Lynn Patton. She is a HUD official who works in New York and New Jersey, who is also a longtime friend of the president. Now, he had Lynn Patton stand next to him and said, this is someone who's an African-American woman who says she would never have worked for someone who was a racist. And what say you, Michael Cohen, of her statements? And Michael Cohen said, well, I understand that she might say that, and I know her very well. But in fact, as someone whose parents were Holocaust survivors, I also am in some ways ashamed that I went and worked for President Trump. Now, Lynn Patton spoke to me shortly after the hearing. She tells me that she wanted to stand there because she knows Michael Cohen very well, and she wanted to make sure that he knew and that she knew that she felt like she was on the higher moral ground. She's also wanted to pivot back to this idea that President Trump doesn't see color. Instead, she told me that he only sees successes and failures, and that more people should be like that. So we have the president's camp and the White House really pivoting back to the original image of the president as someone who's from their apprentice, who's hiring and firing people, and who's making deals.
It was interesting because we heard another member of the committee later on, Representative Tlaib, in essence say that one of her fellow committee members, a Republican, may have been racist. He denied that when she raised it later, but it just brought up a whole different dimension here.